Imagine meeting someone who has lived for 100 years. You ask them one simple question. What is the most important lesson you've learned about life? Do you think they would talk about expensive cars, bigger houses, or working longer hours? Probably not. Most people, as they grow older, begin to realize something surprising. The things they once worried about often didn't matter, and the things they ignored turned out to be the most valuable: time, health, family, friendship, kindness, courage. These are the lessons many people don't fully understand until it's too late. The truth is, life is an incredible teacher, but sometimes its lessons are expensive. They cost years, missed opportunities, broken relationships, and regrets. The good news? You don't have to wait until you're old to learn them. You can learn from the experiences of others and make wiser choices starting today. Hello, my amazing students. My name is Sarah, and today we're going to learn English through some of the most powerful life lessons that people often learn too late. Together, we'll discover why time is more valuable than money, why true happiness comes from within, how relationships shape the quality of our lives, why failure is one of our greatest teachers, and why the best time to truly start living is right now. As you listen, you'll improve your English vocabulary, your listening comprehension, your pronunciation, and your confidence while learning meaningful lessons that can help you build a happier and more fulfilling life. Remember, wisdom doesn't always come with age. Sometimes it comes from being willing to learn before life forces you to. We'll explore this topic through 5 lessons. Lesson number 1, time is more valuable than money. Lesson number 2, happiness comes from within. Lesson number 3, relationships shape your life. Lesson number 4, failure is one of life's greatest teachers. And finally, lesson number 5, live before it's too late. Let's begin with lesson number 1, time is more valuable than money. Before we start, can I ask you one question? A year from now, will your English be better than it is today, or will you still be saying, "I'll start next week"? The truth is, most people don't fail because English is difficult. They fail because they never truly commit to it. That's why, for a limited time, I've reduced the price of the Native Flow English coaching experience to just $5. Not because it's worth only $5, but because I don't want money to be the reason you never start. For less than the price of a coffee, you can begin building a skill that can stay with you for the rest of your life. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Click the link in the description. Join us today, and I'll see you inside. Now, let's begin today's lesson. Lesson number 1. Time is more valuable than money. Imagine someone gives you $1 million. It would probably change your life. Now imagine they make you a different offer. They say, "We'll give you $10 million, but you must give us 10 years of your life." Would you accept? Most people wouldn't. Because deep inside, we already know something important. Time is more valuable than money. The strange thing is, although we understand this idea, we often don't live as if it's true. Many people spend hours every day doing things that add very little value to their lives. Endless scrolling, pointless arguments, watching videos they won't even remember tomorrow. Then they wonder why time seems to disappear so quickly. The truth is, time never slows down. Whether you're using it wisely or wasting it, the clock keeps moving. Every morning, life gives each of us the same gift. 24 hours, not 25, not 30, exactly 24. The richest person in the world receives the same number of hours as everyone else. The difference isn't how much time people have. The difference is how they choose to use it. Many people believe money creates freedom, and in some ways, it certainly can. But money can often be earned again. If you lose your job, you may find another one. If you lose money, you may earn more. But once a day has passed, you can never get it back. That's why successful people often protect their time even more carefully than they protect their money. Imagine dropping a $20 bill on the street. Most people would quickly pick it up. Now imagine wasting 2 hours doing something meaningless. Many people don't even notice. Yet those 2 hours may be worth far more than $20. Time quietly disappears, 1 minute at a time. Another lesson people often learn too late is that waiting has a hidden cost. Many people say, "I'll travel when I have more money. I'll learn English next year. I'll spend more time with my family when work becomes less busy. I'll follow my dream someday." But someday is a dangerous word, because someday often becomes never. Life doesn't wait until everything is perfect. The perfect moment rarely arrives. The people who build meaningful lives usually begin before they feel completely ready. Another important truth is that being busy isn't always the same as living well. Imagine spending 10 years working every weekend, every holiday, every evening. You earn more money, but you miss birthdays, family dinners, friendships, special memories. One day, you may realize you became successful professionally while becoming poor in the parts of life that mattered most. This doesn't mean work isn't important. It is, but work should support your life, not replace it. One of the wisest questions you can ask yourself is the way I'm spending today helping me build the life I truly want? That question changes everything, because it reminds you that every hour is an investment. You're always investing your time. The only question is where you're investing it. Another beautiful lesson is to become present. Many people live in only 2 places: the past or the future. They regret yesterday, or they worry about tomorrow. Meanwhile, they completely miss today. Imagine eating dinner with your family while thinking only about work, or going on vacation while constantly checking emails. Your body is present, but your mind is somewhere else. Life is experienced only in the present moment. If we're never truly present, we miss the very life we're trying so hard to build. Finally, remember that the goal isn't simply to live a long life, it's to live a meaningful one. A meaningful life isn't measured only by achievements. It's measured by moments. The conversations you remember, the people you loved, the kindness you showed, the experiences you created, the dreams you had the courage to pursue, because one day, all of us will realize the same truth. Time was always our greatest treasure. The question is, will we realize it while we still have enough time to use it wisely? That's one of the greatest life lessons anyone can learn. And the earlier you learn it, the richer your life becomes. Lesson number 2. Happiness comes from within. Imagine 2 people. The first person owns a beautiful house, drives an expensive car, has a high-paying job. The second person lives a much simpler life. They don't own luxury cars, they don't wear expensive clothes, but every morning they wake up with a smile. Now ask yourself, which person is happier? Many people immediately assume it's the first one, but real life often tells a different story. We've all heard stories about wealthy people who feel lonely, successful people who feel empty, famous people who struggle with anxiety or depression. At the same time, we've also met people who have very little, yet seem genuinely happy. Why? Because happiness and success are not exactly the same thing. Success can bring happiness, but it cannot guarantee it. One of the biggest life lessons people learn too late is this: if you don't learn to be happy with what you have today, you probably won't be happy when you have more tomorrow. Many people spend years believing, I'll finally be happy when I get promoted, when I buy a bigger house, when I find the perfect relationship, when I earn more money. The problem is, every time they reach one goal, another goal immediately appears. Happiness keeps moving farther away. It's like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you walk, you never actually reach it. This doesn't mean having goals is wrong. Goals give us purpose. They help us grow. But happiness shouldn't always depend on the next achievement. Otherwise, we spend our entire lives waiting instead of living. Another lesson many people discover too late is the power of gratitude. Think about your daily routine. How often do you focus on what you don't have? Maybe you want a better job, a nicer phone, more money, a bigger house. There's nothing wrong with wanting to improve your life. But sometimes we become so focused on what's missing that we completely forget what's already there. Imagine losing your health tomorrow. Suddenly, all the things you ignored today become incredibly valuable. The ability to walk, to breathe easily, to laugh with your family, to enjoy a peaceful morning. These ordinary moments are actually extraordinary gifts. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending life is perfect. It simply means recognizing that even imperfect lives contain beautiful moments. Another habit that steals happiness is comparison. Today, it's easier than ever to compare ourselves with others. We open social media, we see vacations, luxury cars, perfect families, successful businesses, smiling faces. What we often forget is that we're seeing carefully selected moments, not someone's entire life. Everyone has struggles. Everyone experiences fear. Everyone faces disappointment. Comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel is never fair. The only comparison that truly matters is this: am I becoming a better person than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, you're already moving in the right direction. Another important source of happiness is purpose. People are often happiest when they feel their life has meaning. It doesn't matter whether you're a teacher, a doctor, an artist, a parent, or a student. When you believe your actions matter, life becomes more fulfilling. Purpose gives ordinary days extraordinary meaning. Even small acts of kindness can create happiness. Helping a friend, encouraging someone, listening carefully, sharing your knowledge. Sometimes, the happiest people aren't those who receive the most. They're the ones who give the most. Finally, remember that happiness isn't something you find one day. It's something you practice every day. It's found in gratitude, meaningful relationships, good health, personal growth, acts of kindness, and learning to appreciate the present moment. Because one day, Many people realize that the happiest moments of their lives weren't the expensive ones. They were the simple moments they almost didn't notice. A conversation with someone they loved, a quiet walk at sunset, a family dinner, a genuine laugh, a peaceful morning. Those ordinary moments quietly become life's greatest treasures. So don't wait until everything is perfect before allowing yourself to be happy. Learn to appreciate today, because today is the only day you're truly guaranteed. Lesson number 3. Relationships shape your life. Imagine reaching the end of a long day. You finally arrive home. You're tired. Maybe something didn't go well at work. Perhaps you're feeling discouraged. Now imagine that someone is waiting for you. A family member, a close friend, or someone who simply asks, "How was your day?" Those 4 words may seem ordinary, but sometimes they have the power to make a difficult day feel much lighter. That's because human beings were never meant to go through life completely alone. One of the greatest life lessons people often learn too late is that relationships are far more valuable than possessions. Many people spend years chasing success, working longer hours, earning more money, buying bigger houses, collecting more things. Then one day, they realize something surprising. The happiest memories in life rarely involve things. They involve people. Think about your favorite childhood memory. Perhaps it was a family vacation, a birthday celebration, playing with friends, or simply sitting around the dinner table laughing together. You probably don't remember the price of the clothes you were wearing, or the phone you owned. You remember the people, because relationships give meaning to our experiences. Another important lesson is that the people around you quietly shape who you become. Imagine spending every day with people who constantly complain. They criticize everyone. They avoid responsibility. They believe every problem is someone else's fault. After a while, their way of thinking may slowly become yours. Now imagine surrounding yourself with people who are positive. They encourage you. They work hard. They continue learning. They inspire you to become better. Their attitude begins influencing yours as well. This is why choosing the right people is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Your environment shapes your habits, and your relationships are a big part of that environment. Another lesson many people discover too late is the importance of expressing love and appreciation. Sometimes we assume the people we care about already know how we feel. So we don't say it. We become busy, distracted, focused on tomorrow. Days become months. Months become years. But life is unpredictable. That's why it's important to tell people they matter while you still have the chance. A simple, "Thank you," "I'm proud of you," or "I'm grateful you're in my life," can mean more than you realize. Words spoken at the right moment often stay in someone's heart forever. Another beautiful lesson is learning to forgive. Every relationship experiences misunderstandings. People make mistakes. They say things they later regret. If we expect perfection from everyone, we'll spend much of our lives feeling disappointed. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending nothing happened, and it doesn't mean accepting repeated disrespect. It means choosing not to let anger control your future. Sometimes, forgiveness heals a relationship. Other times, it simply brings peace to your own heart. There's another mistake many people make. They become so busy building a successful life that they forget to enjoy it with the people they love. Imagine working every evening, every weekend, every holiday. You achieve financial success, but your children grow up without you. Your friendships slowly disappear. Your parents grow older while you're always saying, maybe next month we'll spend time together. One day, you may have everything you wanted, except the moments you can never get back. Success means very little if you have no one to share it with. Another important lesson is learning to listen. Many conversations today are filled with distractions, phones, notifications, television. People often hear each other without truly listening. A true relationship grows when people feel understood. Sometimes, the greatest gift you can offer another person isn't advice. It's your full attention, looking into someone's eyes, listening without interrupting, trying to understand before trying to respond. Those simple habits build trust, and trust builds lasting relationships. Finally, remember that relationships require time. Just like a garden, if you never water it, the flowers slowly disappear. Friendships, family relationships, marriage, all of them need attention, kindness, patience, and effort. They don't become strong by accident. They become strong through hundreds of small acts of love and care. Because at the end of life, people rarely wish they had spent more time answering emails or buying more things. Most wish they had spent more time with the people they loved. That's why one of life's greatest lessons is this: take care of your relationships, not tomorrow, not someday, today. Because the people who walk beside you through life are far more valuable than anything money can buy. Lesson number 4, failure is one of life's greatest teachers. Imagine a young inventor spending years creating a new product. He works late every night. He believes in his idea. Finally, the day arrives. He launches it, and it fails. Almost nobody buys it. People criticize his work. His dream seems to disappear overnight. Now imagine he gives up completely. Would the failure have taught him anything? Probably not. But imagine he chooses a different path. He studies his mistakes, improves his idea, learns new skills, and tries again. Suddenly, that same failure becomes one of the most valuable lessons of his life. This is one of the greatest truths people often learn too late. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's often part of the journey toward success. Many people spend their lives trying to avoid failure. They don't apply for the job because they're afraid of rejection. They don't start a business because they're afraid of losing money. They don't speak English because they're afraid of making mistakes. The result? They avoid failure, but they also avoid growth. Imagine a child learning to walk. Do they succeed on the first attempt? Of course not. They fall again and again. Yet no one says, maybe walking just isn't for you. Everyone understands that falling is part of learning. Strangely, when adults fail, many of them believe it means they should stop trying. But life doesn't work that way. Every skill requires mistakes. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person has experienced failure. The difference is that they didn't allow failure to define them. They allowed it to teach them. Another important lesson is that mistakes provide information. Imagine taking an English exam. You answer 20 questions. 5 are wrong. You have 2 choices. You can feel embarrassed and quit studying. Or you can ask, why did I make these mistakes? Those 5 wrong answers become your greatest teachers. The same principle applies to life. Mistakes show us what needs improvement. Without mistakes, progress becomes much slower. Another reason people fear failure is because they worry about what others think. Imagine telling your friends you're starting a new business. Some support you. Others quietly expect you to fail. Months later, the business struggles. You feel embarrassed. You begin thinking, everyone was right. But remember something important. People usually notice your failures for a short time. You remember them much longer than anyone else does. Most people are too busy living their own lives to spend much time thinking about your mistakes. Don't let imagined opinions stop you from chasing real opportunities. The Book of Life teaches another powerful lesson. Failure often develops qualities that success cannot. Patience, resilience, humility, problem solving, courage. Imagine someone who has never experienced difficulties. The first serious challenge may completely overwhelm them. Now imagine someone who has faced many setbacks. They've learned how to adapt, how to recover, how to keep moving forward. Their failures have quietly made them stronger. This doesn't mean failure is enjoyable. It rarely is. Disappointment hurts. Rejection hurts. Losing something important hurts. But pain itself isn't meaningless. Sometimes pain becomes the beginning of wisdom. There's another lesson many people overlook. Don't confuse one failure with a failed life. Imagine reading one page of a book. Would you understand the entire story? Of course not. Life works the same way. One bad day, one failed interview, one unsuccessful project. These are only pages, not the whole book. Never allow one chapter of your life to decide how the entire story ends. Another important habit is asking better questions after failure. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" Try asking, "What can this experience teach me?" That simple change transforms failure into education. You stop becoming a victim of your circumstances. You become a student of your experiences. Finally, remember that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving forward despite fear. Every time you try again after failing, you're becoming stronger, more experienced, more prepared, and more confident. Because confidence doesn't come from always succeeding. It comes from knowing that even if you fail, you'll find a way to stand up again. That's why failure is one of life's greatest teachers. Not because it feels good, but because it teaches lessons that success often cannot. And the people who embrace those lessons usually become the people others admire most. Lesson number 5, live before it's too late. Imagine that someone gives you a notebook on the day you're born. Every day, one page disappears forever. You can't get it back. You can't buy another page. You can't ask for more time. Eventually, the notebook becomes empty. Life is very similar. Every sunrise gives us a new page, and every sunset takes one away. The question is, what are you writing on today's page? One of the greatest regrets people have isn't the mistakes they made. It's the opportunities they never took. Many people reach the later years of life and say things like, "I wish I had traveled more. I wish I had spent more time with my family. I wish I had worried less about what other people thought. I wish I had followed my dreams." Notice something interesting. Most regrets are not about failure. They're about hesitation, about waiting, about believing there would always be another chance. The truth is, tomorrow is a gift, not a promise. None of us knows exactly how much time we have. That's why living fully isn't something we should postpone. It's something we should practice every day. Another lesson people often learn too late is that perfection is an illusion. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment. But life rarely becomes perfect. If you keep waiting for everything to be exactly right, you may spend your entire life waiting. Successful people understand that action creates opportunities. They don't wait until fear disappears. They move forward despite it. Imagine learning English. If you wait until your pronunciation is perfect before speaking, you may never have your first conversation. But if you speak today, you'll make mistakes. You'll learn. You'll improve. And one day, you'll realize you're speaking confidently without even thinking about it. Progress begins the moment you stop waiting. Another important lesson is to protect your dreams. Throughout life, some people will tell you your goals are impossible. They may say you're too young, too old, too inexperienced, or simply not good enough. If you believe every negative opinion, you'll end up living someone else's life instead of your own. Listen to advice. Learn from wise people. But don't allow fear, whether it's yours or someone else's, to decide your future. Remember, every great achievement once seemed impossible. Another truth many people discover too late is that ordinary moments are often the most extraordinary. Imagine drinking coffee with someone you love, watching a beautiful sunset, laughing with friends, reading a good book, walking through a quiet park. These moments may seem small today, but years later, they often become the memories you treasure the most. Life isn't made only of huge milestones. It's made of thousands of simple moments that quietly shape who we are. Learn to notice them. Learn to appreciate them. Because one day, you'll realize they were never ordinary at all. Another powerful lesson is to become the author of your own life. Many people spend years living according to other people's expectations. They choose careers to impress others, hide their opinions, ignore their passions, pretend to be someone they're not. Eventually, they realize they built a life that doesn't truly belong to them. Don't let that happen to you. Your life is your story. Write it with courage. Write it with kindness. Write it with purpose. And most importantly, write it in a way that makes you proud. Finally, remember that the goal of life isn't simply to live longer. It's to live more deeply, to love generously, to learn continuously, to forgive quickly, to laugh often, to help others whenever you can, and to leave the world a little better than you found it. As we finish today's lesson, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Imagine meeting your future self 20 years from now. What would they thank you for doing today? Would they thank you for worrying more? Probably not. Would they thank you for postponing your dreams? Almost certainly not. They would probably thank you for beginning, for taking the first step, for spending more time with the people you love, for learning new skills, for believing in yourself when life became difficult, and for choosing to truly live instead of simply existing. Thank you so much for learning with me today. I hope these life lessons help you improve not only your English, but also the way you think about your time, your relationships, your dreams, and your future. Keep learning, keep growing, keep choosing courage over fear, And remember, the best time to build a meaningful life was yesterday. The second best time is today.